Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and try as I might, I can't escape this conversation. Happy Thanksgiving if you are watching on the American holiday, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I am very grateful that you showed up for this live video stream. Maybe I'm saving you from a very uncomfortable family situation. We're having a very comfortable Thanksgiving here. No turkey. We spared the turkey's life indefinitely, being whole food, plant-based vegans. We also decided that stuffing was the best part of a Thanksgiving meal. So like 90% of our Thanksgiving meal is stuffing. It's pretty much all we had was stuffing. And there's more to come. We'll have more later today. I thought we would, even on this holiday, dive a little deeper into a topic that is relevant for this holiday, given that net neutrality has been, I guess, on our minds again. This is a topic that I have been discussing ever since I learned about it back when I was still producing my Gnome Decks conference series. If you remember, I had a conference series for 10 years and we talked about these topics. But apparently, the battle for net neutrality is still going strong, and so as a part of a new live series in this channel, let's talk about net neutrality. Some people have asked if I was going to talk about it. Like, I'd never talked about it before, but that's not exactly accurate. I have. It's been a while, of course. I thought this entire net neutrality thing was behind us, and that we would understand that a neutral internet is the best internet for everybody involved. Those in power and those in those not in power. Like this is the discrepancy that net neutrality is trying to balance. So net neutrality is generally a good thing, especially if you happen to be a small business owner like myself. So maybe you're not. Maybe you're just someone who is trying to figure out which side of the fence you should be on. And let me just say that a great many geek and nerd agree on this one thing. Can't get geeks and nerds to agree on Star Wars versus Star Trek. But, and by the way, both can peacefully coexist. Because they're different, right? One is fantasy and the other one's, more science fiction. But they can typically agree that net neutrality is a good thing. So I thought, instead of me just doing a regular recorded video about this topic, we would do it live. And I would be able to take comments from the community talking about this particular topic. After this video, we will then move on to doing TLDR as a live broadcast in the other YouTube channel, youtube.com/LockerGnome. And then after that, I'll actually be dispensing some entrepreneurial business advice at youtube.com/creator advocate. Tony Yoon comes in with the very first super chat of the day. Thank you, Tony. Question number 567 from him. He asks, could we start with a quick background story? Well, actually, I'm glad you asked. I'm just going to go ahead and read from one of the headlines, and you can pick a variety of legitimate news sources, and if your favorite tech personality is not a legitimate news source, I don't know who would be. Although I will tell you this, in terms of where we are with this battle today, it's pretty much the fault of the people who put the current guy in charge. Our leader helped make this happen. So my hands are clean, but if you helped make that leader happen, this is on you. So if we lose net neutrality, this is on you. If you didn't vote, or you voted for what we have today. Good going. Tried to warn you last year. I upset a great many people because apparently you can't talk about politics, although politics and technology are indelibly intertwined. You need further proof? Let's go ahead and just read this. The FCC just decided to repeal net neutrality. Here's why that's a really, 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 really bad idea. So the Federal Communication Commission Commissioner Ajit Pai is basically leading this, and he had been championing the removal of net neutrality for a number of years. And so he was given this position by, guess who? Palpatine. All right, let's go ahead and continue. The days of a free and open internet are facing a twilight. Sounds ominous, doesn't it? Now, I know this is probably very, well, it's nerve-wracking for one, but it's also very subject to nuance. And there's probably good points to be made on one side and good points to be made on the other. You obviously know that I fall on the side of supporting net neutrality. I have from the very beginning, and understanding it. But effectively, I think there is, admittedly, even though, again, I'm in support of net neutrality, we don't have to agree on this, by the way, to still kind of get along and to have a conversation. This is not about me saying you have to support net neutrality or I will call I will call it like I see it, but I'm not saying you have to agree with me. That's part of talking about this and starting the dialogue, really. So I think there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt surrounding this issue. So I tend not to swing to the extreme, as I know a lot of people who are in support of net neutrality are doing. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. We don't know. We don't want to enable that. I mean, I don't want to see the eventuality of let's just wait and see. Here's another situation where I don't think a wait and see approach is an intelligent one. That's my opinion. On Tuesday, I'm just reading again from the article, the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, announced a sweeping repeal of the Obama-era net neutrality regulations which prohibited ISPs from slowing down or blocking certain websites. That's a good thing, right? You want to go to a website, you want to go to the website. You don't want to get somebody else's permission to go to the website, do you? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you would rather more larger entities be in control of your life. Hey, I guess if that's your thing, that's your thing. It's not my thing. So that's what it boils down to. Or maybe they would be speeding up websites which agree to pay the corporations a fee. The proposal still is to be approved in a December 14th meeting of the FCC, but it's widely expected to pass. Writing in the Wall Street Journal, FCC Chairman Ajit Pai said that removing the heavy-handed regulations will let consumers, quote, benefit from greater investment in digital infrastructure, because that happened before when they were given money for digital infrastructure and that actually didn't happen, which will create jobs. What is this mysterious create jobs that is yet to happen this year? Increase competition and lead to better, faster, and cheaper internet access. Okay, so let me get this straight. We're going to give large corporations more control, and they're going to save us money. Okay. Especially in rural America. I grew up in rural America. Glad I'm not there anymore. If you are, man, more power to you. This is probably going to do just the opposite of what they say it's going to do. But that's been par for the course for the past year. Everything they say is going to happen doesn't. Or they say it's going to be this way and it's not. This is not a new issue. Net neutrality has been on the table for at least, to my recollection, about 10 years. So this is the repeal that may very well happen. I continue. The repeal of net neutrality rules would be an incredibly damaging thing to free speech in the United States, and it would also stifle the ability of small websites, small business owners, to help innovate and change the web, all while the customer is forced to pay more for an inferior product. And I think that is potentially fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm willing to admit that. It's possible that wouldn't happen, but I would be shocked if it didn't. Why? Because I have two eyes. And I see what happens when those in charge get more power. Unlimited power! Do you not remember this moment from Revenge of the Sith? Go watch the movie. Suffer through it just for that one moment, or just, watch the animated GIF and then don't watch the movie. Over the last 15 years, the free and open nature of the web has allowed for tiny startups to blossom into essential tools we use every day. Continues to make a few examples, and I think you may know of one. Some of your favorite tools that were developed happened because we have net neutrality. Every service is equal. One is not more important than another. One is not, shifted around for value to the cost of another. In the internet, on the internet, in the United States. The open internet that everyone claims to love, the openness of the internet. Now we're talking about potentially reining it in. Do you want that? Maybe you do. Hey, if that is your security blanket, not mine. Okay, so let's go ahead. Continue. Under a net neutrality repeal, which is what's on the table, the scales would tip drastically away from small-time innovators towards massive corporations. The ones that you're probably dealing with today, and you probably have no choice but to deal with them, because what's the alternative? You don't get online? Oh yeah, that's practical. With the rules about equal access to websites relaxed, ISPs would be able to, and this is again where some FUD may very well be circulating, would be able to create a two-tier structure and decide which websites get to go in the fast lane and which websites are regulated to a slower tier of service. So let's just say you, for example, love YouTube. Right? I love YouTube. I love YouTube. Oh, YouTube is the best thing ever because it's got all the videos and that's where all the videos are. But your ISP has got a competitive product. They don't want you to go to YouTube. Or if you want to go to YouTube, they can charge you more for faster service to that website because they decided it and there's no regulation in place to say, nay, nay. This is an example. It's a possibility. You can't say it's not. That example, that possibility is absolutely on the table with net neutrality disappearing in the United States. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody! You gotta be thankful for something? Be thankful that we currently have an open internet. And that one website is treated like another in terms of your access to it. Not its foundation, not how fast it runs to begin with. Your access is what's in question. Your access is on the table. Two-tier structure. Not only do the ISPs win financially from this by forcing websites to pay for the fast lane, but they also get to stifle access to competing products. Oh, what? Wait, but didn't the infamous they say that it would increase competition and create jobs? How is this going to create jobs? So another customer service agent that you can talk to say, why is my YouTube slow? Why is Facebook faster than Twitter? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You need to upgrade to the social plan. You're currently on the basic social plan. Our premium social package would allow you equal access or better access. Not even equal, because equal's off the table, right? Yeah, equal rights to websites. Maybe that would probably be potentially a better brand to go by other than net neutrality, which makes sense for geeks and nerds, but the most people who are going to be impacted by this are the same people that you're arguing with right now, potentially at your dinner table. And I'd be shocked if anybody's even watching live, quite honestly. Because this is one reason I was wanting to do it specifically on Thanksgiving Day. Because I'm thankful that we have what we have today, and I don't want to lose it. Let's see, got any questions? Oh, yeah, I love the Discord chat back here. By the way, this is a chat service that currently anybody can access with equal speed, equal access, anywhere in the world, thankfully. All you have to do is head over to patreon.com/Chris Pirillo or become a sub of mine on twitch.tv/Chris Pirillo. So patrons and subs both get to access this chat room, and they are treated equally. Okay, I will continue. Let's see here. I'm going to skip some of the finer points because I think I've pretty much covered the big talking points and where this comes from. If you want further proof of what a repeal of net neutrality would look like, look to Portugal as an example. So let's just say, well, but that's in theory. It's not in practice. Let's go ahead and look to Portugal. Their internet service provider, MEO, and I don't know if it's MEO, MEO. I've never been to Portugal. I'm sure it's a fantastic country. This ISP has started to split internet access into packages. €5 for social media apps, €5 for music apps, and so on. So it's already a thing. There's an example. There is what could very well happen to you. Do you want to pay more to get better access to the things that you already had access to? You thought data caps were horrific? Ah, okay. Maybe they're just a problem for a few people. Maybe this thing is just a problem because you don't use YouTube. Don't worry about it. YouTube's so small, I'm sure it'll fly under the radar. No one knows about YouTube or Twitch or any of these video service providers. No one uses it. Literally, nobody uses YouTube. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Someone else will take care of it, you know? You didn't vote or you voted for this, so this is what you wanted, I guess. Unless you thought that everything was going to be fine for you and everybody that you loved. Now imagine this sort of system is implemented in the United States, where many ISPs maintain a monopoly in certain regions, and telecommunications companies have consolidated into massive corporate behemoths. widely hated and wildly hated by their customers for their awful customer service. A grim picture starts to emerge of just what a repeal of net neutrality will look like in the good old USA. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hang on. I saw a couple of YouTube. This is a conversation. Let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. Tell me I'm wrong. I would love for anybody to tell me I'm wrong on this. That net neutrality was a horrible idea because of reasons. Because for the past 10 years, several administrations, for the past 10 years we've been fighting this battle. So we got to do it again. Dodgers24 on YouTube asks, what's your opinion on what people should do to help support net neutrality at the current moment? I will get to that. Thank you for asking. Because there may be something you can do. One, talk about it. That's for one. Even if it makes those people who voted for this uncomfortable. And yeah, I absolutely blame the people who voted for this. Oh yeah, I do. But that's none of my business. It's tea. Doing my Kermit thing. Tony Yoon asks, I don't get it. So they're trying to throttle the internet based on how much companies pay for their sites? Kind of, potentially. Let me go ahead and continue, okay? And hopefully this will become a clearer picture for you. If you want to dive deep, read the Wikipedia page, which I'm obviously not doing because that's very detailed, very controversial. And in fact, it was seen by an administrator in New York that comments made online claiming to be people were not. The comments that were coming out in rejection of net neutrality, it was discovered that, like, I think close to 200,000, and I may be fudging that number, a great many people were discovered to be fake. Trolls, like people that were basically plants or stolen identities were used to pose as real people, basically going to the FCC and saying, yes, please repeal net neutrality. It was discovered that thousands upon thousands of these fake users were used, these stooges. Because wait, so wait, you're saying that something like that could happen? Like, how does this sounds familiar? It sounds like a familiar story. Like, thousands upon thousands of fake users coming around to allegedly support something when those users don't exist or as a propaganda campaign. Sounds very similar to how we ended up in the situation we have today in the current political climate. Which, by the way, net neutrality is neither left nor right. It's in the middle. That's what makes it neutral. So I don't want to hear this liberal conservative crap. It's neutral. There's also the worrying issue of internet privacy lurking over the horizon. Back in March, the leader completely repealed the FCC's Obama-era regulations that banned ISPs from storing or selling certain types of information without user consent. You were upset because Google was tracking, and that you thought you opted out of the tracking mechanism, but it turns out that the feature hadn't been removed, and Google may have been tracking you and storing that data. You were upset about that. Well, that's a topic of a completely different conversation, because don't blame Google for being Google. So again, this was repealed, a regulation that banned ISPs from storing or selling certain types of information without user consent. Do you hear that? A regulation that protected you and your privacy was revoked. Information like financial history, chat logs, location details. Now that the major ISPs have access to that information, along with control over what websites you have access to, the internet is looking less and less like the internet we know, and instead like a cable package with tailor-made ads. Oh, ads. Yeah, that's another thing that's coming down the pike from the FCC. This leader who's installed another leader. Yeah, the next generation, the next era of television quality is going to come down the pike, and within about 5 years, you're going to be forced to upgrade your TV. You need a new TV in order to be able to watch TV the way that you're able to watch it now, because upgrades. It's technology, it moves forward. But that will come at a cost, not just the cost of the television, but advertisers are going to get even more of your data, more of your information, to be able to better track you. Because advertisers are in charge. You wonder why I'd rather have supporters like patrons and subs on Twitch? You wonder why? You wonder why I'd rather have people who do super chats on YouTube rather than wonder why I would rather deal with sponsors on a regular basis? Would rather tell you to use YouTube Red so you don't have to put up with ads. That's the reason why I use YouTube Red. It's going to get worse. So don't think that you can just click a button and everything's blocked. That's not how the net neutrality thing works. That's not what happens when big companies are in charge. It's not. I mean, it may look like it because they put a little pretty public relations package, together for you and serve it up so that it's palatable. Thank you, Dan JRL1 for the super chat. I appreciate it. I do. And you said, I hope you're wrong. Oh, I know I'm right about this. I hope it doesn't happen. As I hoped it wouldn't happen years ago when I first talked about this. This is absolutely what people should be debating over a Thanksgiving dinner. This is everything. The internet is everything. No matter which side of the aisle you sit on, man. Of course, the big companies were excited about this repeal. The job of the FCC is to represent the consumer. I agree. Tragically, this decision is only for the benefit of the largely monopoly services that delivered the internet to the consumer. So there are many places you can go to effectively research this. And if I pull this up exactly, this is a website that people have been promoting, and I'm not saying this is the only website that you can go to, but battleforthenet.com will help you get in contact with all the people you need to get in contact with to register a letter that would read, you can even, make it your own. I urge you to stop the FCC's plan to end net neutrality before the FCC's December 14th vote. I don't want ISPs to have the power to block websites, slow them down, give some sites an advantage over others, split the internet into fast lanes for companies that pay and slow lanes for the rest, or force me to buy special tiers to access the sites and services I choose. But that's exactly what the FCC plans, the plan would do. Please read it. And then there's a link to the FCC.gov PDF. You could read it too if you want. Blocking and throttling by ISPs is a serious problem. Blah, 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 blah. You can make your own letter, and then you could write Congress. It's really simple to do. Battleforthenet.com. That's what people have been promoting. That's what people have been talking about as an option for you to use. So, maybe the time to talk is over, right? I mean, this is something that I think you would understand, to be able to better translate by these examples that I've given you to someone who doesn't understand why net neutrality is a good thing. It's a good thing. When it doesn't come out in your favor and the people that you already fight with are for it, if you honestly believe that if you honestly believe that we just need to give it a chance, you're going to sit back and see what happens, don't be shocked when it does happen. And don't blame the people who warned you. Don't blame the people who attempted to warn you. And it's as I said before, to separate, there was one tech person out there, a pundit, a so-called reviewer, who said that politics and technology don't mix. Trust me, politics and technology have never been more tightly wound together. Technology is politics. Technology changed politics. Technology will continue to shape politics. The two are inseparable, and anybody who says otherwise doesn't understand technology and ain't a techie. Again, I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you're more this way or that way. Because me, I'm kind of right in the middle. Like net neutrality, I'm right in the middle. I can see benefits, potential benefits and drawbacks on both sides, but to me, it's heavily weighted on one end. We do have a couple more, I guess, comments here from YouTube. Can we write the government even if we're not in the U.S.? Raul, don't. No, I wouldn't recommend that. Because that's not playing by the rules. And maybe that's my problem. Like, I want to play by the rules. Tell me what the rules are, make them fair, and play by the rules. So, no. But what you can do, if you are so inclined, is share this information. Share the video if you want, although I'd be shocked if anybody would have listened this far in on this topic. Plenty of resources that you can use that are far more direct. Send that link to somebody. I don't know who did this website. I can't vouch for them. I just know that it's what's been shared before. How do I think VPN services will play a role in this? Well, how have VPN services played a role in things so far? I think they'll continue to be that way. In fact, VPN services that don't keep logs tend to be the more valued ones. Not keeping customer information is sometimes more valuable than the speed. So it's a boon. A VPN service could be a boon, but it doesn't solve the problem. That's the problem, is it doesn't solve the problem. We still have to have this debate. How is this still a thing? In fact, it was Werner Vogels, who works at Amazon. I think he was the CTO, may still be the CTO, who presented this information at Gnomedex. That's the conference I was referring to. Hang on. I'm going to see if I can find it. Neutrality. I may have the video. Gnomedex. This would be hilarious if I did. Fur flies at Gnomedex. Net neutrality. No, that's not it. Dang it. I probably didn't tag it very well. Give me a second. I'll find it. It was Werner Vogels. And he, actually, I don't know if he was recorded. But it was because he presented this over a break. I ran the conference for like 10 years. We talked about a great many things before other people were talking about it. Like, we were talking about 3D printing in, what was it, 2007, 2008. Bree Pettis from, what was it, MakerBot, was on stage. He was actually a Gnomedex attendee back when I think he still worked for Jim Henson, or maybe he was a teacher at that point. But Werner Vogels, I can't find a video up front, but I swear I had it. But anyway, people have been talking about this for that long. This has been a long time coming. I apologize. Let me go ahead and scroll down. If you have any super chats, that's great. I'll make sure that yours gets elevated to the top. Let's see here. I'm reading the comments. We don't have a lot, admittedly. This is a live video on Thanksgiving Day. It's a shot in the dark. I want to do more live videos like this, where I can get feedback and we can interact, on this kind of thing. So let's talk about, may become a very regular series in this channel, if there's something to talk about. And it doesn't have to be like a hot issue like net neutrality is today. It may very well be on another topic. And in fact, I may want to dive deeper next week into a few things like, the things that impact my life, like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Like, what's the big deal? I mean, are there any good deals? Are they not good deals? Talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday next week. And then we can talk about the flap that I recently referred to, where Google was storing information and tracking your data even though you didn't have it toggled to track. I mean, these are issues that often bubble to the surface. There are topics we can just dive in deeper about and talk about, instead of me just sitting here and recording a video and then uploading it and waiting to see comments. I'd much rather interact with y'all live. I would so much rather do that. But maybe I feel I've said everything I need to say. And I'm seeing a few comments, which is great. But nothing that's necessarily furthering that particular conversation. The chat has been absolutely supportive as well. And when I say supportive, just talking about this topic. Not agreeing on the topic, because I don't think I agree with everybody. Certainly don't. But I think this is kind of surprising. The comments that I'm seeing for the live video are actually useful. They're actually somewhat constructive, which is odd for YouTube, right? That always surprises me when that happens. But I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and wind down and then move over to TLDR, the Locker Room Daily Report. Yes, even on a holiday, I'm working. It's what I do. Even on a holiday you're watching, that's what you do. So thank you for tuning in. Now we can go to do TLDR, youtube.com/LockerGnome. The video links in the video description. Then you can talk about the things you want to talk about. net neutrality or whatever. It's up to you. And then after we do TLDR today, I'm going to be doing the Creator Advocate live stream at youtube.com/Creator Advocate. That's specifically for small business owners, entrepreneurs, creators, people who do YouTube videos, call themselves YouTubers, podcasters, anybody who does business online. That's what Creator Advocate's for, because we create businesses. I am a creator at my core, a small business owner who understands some of the nuances around technology. Thank you, Dan J. Rel 1. He asks, what's up with your iPhone 10 fund? We made it about halfway. Tomorrow's the cutoff point, though. Made it about halfway. Very grateful for that. As I mentioned in the iPhone 10 fund video, those funds would be basically used for paying off the existing Apple device if we did not make the iPhone 10 tier. We made it halfway, and I'm very grateful for that. Carl B. comes in with a super chat, though no comment. Thank you. I don't know if that was a Thanksgiving tip, but I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up now and see you over in the other stream later on today. I'm maybe even going to Twitch to record the podcast, as well as to live stream some Battlefront 2 gameplay. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you in a few minutes on the other channels. At this point, however, I'm going to leave you to your own devices, and may the Force be with you.